taking time for your health. The African American Wellness Watch. Trusted information for us, by us. Dr. Michael LeNoir and other experts from around the country and around the world have the latest on how you and your family can get healthy and stay well. It's time for the African American Wellness Watch. Welcome to the Wellness Watch. I'm your moderator, George Strait. Quick question. What's the largest organ in your body? It's your skin. And did you know that it replaces itself entirely about once a month? So how do we take care of it in between times, and particularly African American skin, because we are special? No one knows more about this than our guest, Dr. Melanye Maclin. Dr. Mac is a brilliant researcher. She's a dermatologist and a lecturer on the subject of keeping Black hair and skin well. Dr. Mac, thanks for being here and welcome.
Yeah, no, thank you, George, for having me. This is a wonderful opportunity, and I always love to give great wellness tips to keep us well. How about that?
Indeed, you do. So, Dr. Mike, let's sort of start with give us your top tips to maintain a healthy and healthy-looking skin. For instance, what about my ashy knees? What do we do about that?
Right. Well, we all want to have the ashy knees because we all want to figure out what to do about them. Okay, right. That includes ourselves as well as our children. But no, I think just in general, we have to, maintain a good daily grooming practice, George, which, sadly, a lot of people don't. Some people don't know. They may not shower every day or every other day or every week or whatever. But it's very important because your skin, holds a lot of oil. It can, get a lot of bacteria, a lot of yeast growth on there. So it's very important to have a proper cleansing routine on a daily basis. And then after that, you want to make sure that you're doing some sort of proper moisturizing as well so that we can reduce our risk for those lovely ashy knees and elbows. So there's so many different products in the marketplace that can be used for moisturizing the skin. And I say, look, whatever's your favorite and you like, I love it. As long as, you don't have any sort of reactions to them. A lot of products, George, is very important to remember, they contain fragrance. And fragrance is probably the number one main issue for allergenic reactions to occur. So if you find yourself using a moisturizer and you're getting a little itchy or an area of the parts that you've been using it start to look a little extra dry or red, then there may be something in that moisturizer because it is left on the skin. It's allowed to absorb more. That's actually causing some harmful effects for you. So, I know, people are product junkies, especially us women. We just like to use a whole bunch of stuff and slather on whatever. But I caution with using a whole bunch of different products. Use one at a time so that you can be able to assess whether or not you have a problem with that product or not. If you're using all these different things and a lot of different makes of products, you really don't know, what's causing your problem. So, if you're going to be a product junkie, just say, look, I'm going to use this one this week, and then I'm going to use this one the next week, so that then you can really zone in on if it's causing you a problem.
So more products is not necessarily better.
No, more is just making you more broke. Because a lot of these lovely skin products have a lot of lovely higher price tags, and that's another thing. Some of us think rather that the higher amount that we pay for a product, that the better that it works. And I beg to differ, because I say, look at the ingredients. There's a lot of different ingredients out there that may be in some of these high price at your big beauty supply or the retail stores, the Nordstrom or the Macy's or whatever. And you're spending all this money in that same ingredient. I can show you and tell you what to get right at your local Target or Walmart. It's all about looking at the back of the label at ingredients, George, because it can really save the dollar, save your pockets.
You were talking about cleaning a few seconds ago, and some of the materials that you've written really talk about the difference between what you use to clean, say, in the shower. It's not just one cloth, I guess what you're saying is that there are various ways to clean your body, and there are various materials that you should use, right?
Yes. So, for example, we shouldn't be using the same washcloth that we wash our bodies with on our face. You know, that's just transmitting the bacteria that's on your lower half of your body up to the fragile skin that's on your face. So one of my favorites to use for your face is your hands. You know, your hands have a great texture. You put some of the facial cleanser on your hands and you wet your hands, put the cleanser and wash around in circular motions and pat to dry, and you're all set. There are, other materials that you mentioned that are in the loofah category, which have a more rough texture, if you will, so that it helps to really exfoliate a lot of the old dead skin, because skin cells turn over like every 2 weeks. So the more we can kind of keep, the skin cells sloughed off, the more the skin is going to have a better glow. It's not going to look as ashy and dry. We want to reserve the facial scrubs for maybe once a week or so. We don't want to overdo it because the facial skin is very thin and it can get very irritated. Your body is thicker, so you can use that loofah sponge on a day-to-day basis on your body because it's thicker skin. Now, let's say a word of caution about the loofah sponges, because of course you're removing old dead skin cells, George. It's getting trapped in that tightly woven scrub material. So you want to make sure that you cleanse those properly and you hang to dry. Just don't leave it on the shower floor or the side of the tub. You want to make sure that you hang this to dry, because the more moisture that is getting trapped into that loofah, the more bacteria and mold is going to grow in there. So I love the loofahs, but make sure that you're being very aware of how to keep it nice and clean from a hygiene standpoint, so that you don't transmit that bacteria and you're scrubbing more bacteria in your skin. So you're being counterproductive there. So yes.
So what about care for your lips?
Oh yeah, a lot of us will forget about the lips. We'll quickly, reach in our pocket or our purse for some chapstick. Well, you know what? You may not have to use chapstick if every day when you're brushing your teeth, you brush your lips. The lips still have some thin skin there that needs to be exfoliated off, and it'll just smooth out the lips as well. But also, we can't forget about our lips when it comes to sunscreen. The lips are highly prevalent, especially in our community, for getting lip cancer. Our lips still have melanin in there, which is from the melanocytes, and that ultraviolet rays can get through our lips, because the lips, what we call non-keratinized skin, so it doesn't have the surface on our skin is not the same. So it doesn't have that outer layer on your lips, which makes it more prone for the ultraviolet rays to affect those lips and can lead to a melanoma on the lips. So sunscreen they put them now in lipsticks and lip balms. So that's even more important than just your basic chapstick. If your lips are needing chapstick, they're just dried and they just need to be exfoliated. So get that toothbrush and do what you need to do every day.
So let's talk about a common skin problem, that's acne. But before we talk about it, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show one of your videos where you talk about tips to deal with this.
Here's some of my favorite over-the-counter acne tips. First and foremost, don't pick. This can just leave unsightly, ugly dark marks, and even unnecessary acne scarring. Number 2, gotta wash your face at least twice a day. Pick out an oil-free acne wash. Look for ingredients such as salicylic acid and benzoyl peroxide. I do not want you using your washcloth to wash your face. Use your hands. You can pick up a buff puff or even a disposable cotton pad. And one of my favorites are just simply baby wipes. Those are great for wiping off excess makeup, especially for you ladies. Number 3, after you wash your face, apply a thin layer of a benzoyl peroxide acne gel. Don't just put it on the affected area. Smooth a little bit outside of those surrounding areas, because you may have a little bit of bump coming up there as well. And don't forget, after you put on that benzoyl peroxide acne gel, pick up an oil-free facial lotion to apply every day, twice a day as well. You can actually reduce the amount of oil coming from your skin by simply taking vitamin A, 2 capsules every day. Ladies, if you're pregnant or anticipate getting pregnant, let's stay away from the oral vitamin A right now because that can have some side effects on the baby. Lastly, gotta eat plenty of fresh fruits and vegetables. They have great antioxidants that are great for your skin. Plenty of water, and more water. If you got questions for me, www.drmaclin.com. That's drmaclin.com. Bye-bye.
So, Dr. Mac, that was terrific. Let's talk about some medications for acne. I guess that there are a lot of them out there, from topical creams to prescriptions.
Yes, and some of the basic things that you can get at your drugstore if you have mild case of acne, you can look for products that have benzoyl peroxide. They have benzoyl peroxide wash. There are leave-on benzoyl peroxide gels and creams that can be used topically. You know, I always say save the benzoyl peroxide products for the nighttime because, of course, it can cause some irritations if you're out in the ultraviolet, the sun rays. There's products that have salicylic acid. They help to exfoliate a lot of the old dead skin around those pores by which the acne is starting at those pores. So the more that you can kind of unclog those areas with the salicylic acid, that's going to help with the acne as well. Now, over the counter is probably for some people reserved if you have like mild forms of acne. But if you get into, you know, your hormones are really causing the acne surge and you're getting some, you know, some pustules, some whiteheads and blackheads, then that calls for more prescribed medications. And in those cases, oftentimes we'll use oral antibiotics like, you know, erythromycin and tetracycline, and you've heard of lots of those type of antibiotics. And then we use a class of medicines called retinoids, and the retinoids are really kind of a form of a chemical base of vitamin A that helps to remove a lot of that old dead skin and unclog some of those pores from a prescription strength, if you will. There are some over-the-counter, you know, retinoid type of products, but of course they're not the same strength as you would get from, you know, your prescription from your, you know, your dermatologist. And then there's a whole, you know, cosmetic lane for helping with acne as well. The microdermabrasion, the chemical peels, there's lasers. But one thing that we don't want to do, which is very, I know is a habit that people have, is if they see an acne bump, they want to pick it, George. We can't do that because it's just going to cause acne pits, just like I said. So don't pick so that you don't get the pits. And they look like little, you know, indents in the skin that are scars basically from the picking. Now there are types of acne that can go deeper into the skin, what we call cystic acne. So those are the ones that, you know, the areas are more red, inflamed, they're deeper in the skin. Now those can lead to a lot of the acne pits as well and deeper scarring. So it's important that a person goes to see their dermatologist if they're having serious outbreaks of acne, because it can not only affect the face, George, it can be on the chest, the arms, the back. So when it goes widespread like that, we want to really kind of go to the dermatologist and get some real treatment there so that we don't have a lot of the scarring and the adverse darker marks and things of that nature that go along with the acne side effects.
I remember talking to one acne expert. He said acne doesn't, especially severe acne, doesn't just scar the skin. It also sometimes scars the soul because people feel bad about the way they look and shouldn't because
the adverse effect psychologically. Yes, the psychological effect. And that honestly, George, goes with most hair and skin issues because we can physically look at what's going on the skin. We can physically look at what's going on the hair. And if there are problems there, it can certainly affect our mind. So that's why it's very critical that you seek treatment, evaluation and treatment, so that we can protect that mind and keep a healthy mindset about who you are.
And that's what you do so effectively.
Thank you.
I mean, there's just a joy in what you say. Is a joy in what you've learned. There's a joy in what you give to our community.
Yes, and I love people. I love helping. I have had a passion that's why I have my whole Ask Dr. Mac platform that I've had, celebrating 25 years, George, of doing that on radio and television and like. It's just my passion for helping people. I said, God granted me the capability of being an African-American dermatologist, because it's not that many dermatologists, number one, and let alone being a Black one. So I feel that, can give you some over-the-counter tricks of the trade, because a lot of our community, quite frankly, cannot get to a dermatologist. And so that's why I felt that I was put here on this earth to be able to at least give some great over-the-counter tricks of the trade, instead of folks going to Dr. Google, because Dr. Google can get someone in a lot of great trouble. A lot of things that what looks like on the skin may be a plethora of about 10 or 20 things that it could be. So you want to get to a credible dermatologist that can evaluate whatever's going on.
Yeah, Dr. Google wasn't put here on earth to take care of us. But thankfully you were, and thanks for sharing not just your expertise, but also your passion. Dr. Maclin, thanks very much.
Thank you, George, for having me. Yes.
And remember, you can get a lot of these tips on our website at aawellnessproject.org. That's aawellnessproject.org. And you'll also find links to Dr. Mac's website and all of her products as well. Again, it's aawellnessproject.org. And also on the screen, you'll see Dr. Mac's website as well. Again, thank Dr. Mac for sharing her expertise and her passion with us. And thank you for watching.